Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're jumping into something really fundamental, not just learning phrases, but maybe unlocking a kind of, well, superpower for working together. We're looking at how to communicate effectively and politely in team settings. Our source material is this really practical guide on teamwork English based around, realistic scenarios you'd find at school or work. So our mission today, it's pretty clear. We want to pull out the most useful phrases, the actual strategies for things like offering help
Yeah.
or accepting help, maybe declining it sometimes, and crucially, how to agree or disagree without causing friction. The
Exactly.
goal is that you, listening, will finish this with a toolkit, something tangible to feel more confident next time you're collaborating.
And it's so much more than just picking up a few English phrases. It's really about the bedrock of good collaboration.
Mm.
What's really interesting, I think, especially for our listeners who are already quite clued in, is realizing how these, well, seemingly simple communication patterns do more than just build rapport. They actually foster psychological safety. They stop misunderstandings that can cost a lot, time or money. They can even subtly signal leadership,
Right.
even if you're not officially the boss.
Right.
These skills are like the hidden framework of any productive team, whether it's a huge business deal or, I don't know, planning a local event.
Okay, so let's unpack this using the main scenario from the source. We've got these two people, Alex and Sarah, colleagues, maybe classmates.
Yeah.
They're working together on a presentation. It's for a new client, deadline's tight, lots of research needed. They have different skills they bring to it.
Classic setup.
Exactly. It's not abstract theory. It's like a blueprint for countless situations you've probably been in or you will be. The guide uses their interactions to show these strategies in action.
And what's so good about using Alex and Sarah is that this dynamic, it's universal,
Yeah.
really. Think about it. A massive corporate proposal, a university group assignment, even just, I don't know, figuring out a family holiday rota. The basic human need to coordinate, share ideas, sort out differences. It's always there.
True.
So understanding this basic dialogue, even if it's just from a guide, it kind of gives you a mental cheat sheet.
Mm.
It helps you anticipate the communication bumps in the road and navigate them better.
Yeah.
It's not just words, it's strategy.
Absolutely. Strategy. Okay, so let's dive into the first really critical set of phrases Alex and Sarah use. Offering help. It sounds easy, right? But how you offer it, that makes a huge difference.
Yeah, it really does.
The source points out phrases like Alex asking Sarah, do you want me to help with the research? Or maybe I can make the slides if you like, and notice the pattern there.
Modal verbs.
Exactly. The modal verbs, can I, shall I, would you like me to?
Yeah.
They keep popping up. And these aren't just, being extra polite. Linguistically, they add this element of possibility, maybe conditionality. It changes the feel completely. It turns it from a direct statement, which could feel a bit pushy, like I'll do the slides, into a gentle suggestion. It respects the other person's space, their autonomy. It makes the offer feel less like you're taking over and more like, well, you're actually offering support. Would you like me to do it? Versus, I'll do it. Big difference.
That is a crucial difference. And the impact of making these polite, sort of proactive offers, it's huge. It's not just about making someone less stressed about the workload, although that's definitely part of it.
Yeah, that helps.
But it also subtly sends a message that you're tuned in, you're tracking how things are going, you're thinking ahead about what's needed. And that kind of foresight, that's actually a really powerful, often unnoticed part of leading even when you're working with peers. It builds trust, sure, but it also shows a deeper level of commitment. Think about when someone offers help before you've even had to ask. It just changes the whole feeling, doesn't it?
It really does. Shows you're engaged, not just waiting for instructions. But, okay, here's a thought. What if someone still feels like your offer is, I don't know, intrusive? Or maybe they take it as a subtle hint that you think they're lagging behind.
Ooh, yeah.
Even with perfect phrasing, that can happen, right?
That's a really sharp point. And it shows that the intention behind the words is key, but so is, reading the situation, the relationship you have with that person. Sometimes even the most polite offer might need a follow-up signal. Just making it clear you're genuinely offering support, not judging or trying to step on their toes. It's about the spirit of it all.
Right.
And for the person getting the offer, well, it's maybe about having the confidence to clarify that feeling if it pops up,
Yeah.
rather than just getting awkward about the words.
Which brings us nicely to the flip side.
Mhm.
Once help is offered, you need to know how to accept it.
Yes.
The source gives us some really straightforward, effective examples, like Sarah saying, yes, that would be great, or a simple, thanks, I really appreciate it. Short, direct, positive. Can't go wrong, really.
Exactly. And accepting gracefully. It's just as vital as making the offer politely in the first place. It validates the person who offered. It shows you value their input. And really importantly, it reinforces that team cohesion. It builds that positive cycle, keeps things flowing.
Yeah.
Think about the opposite. If you accept vaguely or hesitantly or just too briefly,
Yeah.
it can actually make the person who offered feel a bit, well, unappreciated.
Mm.
Or maybe like they overstepped.
Yeah, awkward.
So accepting clearly, gratefully, you're not just getting help, you're actually empowering your teammate and strengthening that working relationship. It creates that sense of reciprocity.
Okay, now for the one that often feels trickier, declining politely. We've all been there. You feel you should accept help you don't actually need, or maybe you really want to handle one specific bit yourself.
Oh, definitely.
Like maybe Alex wants to get the introduction to the presentation just right himself. The source suggests a great phrase for this. Thanks, but I think I can manage this part.
Perfect.
It ticks all the boxes, doesn't it? Appreciative, clear, firm, but definitely not rude.
And this is so important. It connects directly to keeping your own autonomy, your own space, without causing offense. It's not rejection. It's just clear communication. When you decline politely like that, you're signaling, hey, I'm capable, I'm organized, I've got this, but you're also respecting their willingness to help.
Right.
And done well, it can actually build trust. People see you as someone who understands your own limits and workload, not someone who just grabs everything or pushes back rudely.
I can see that, but couldn't declining help sometimes make you look like you're, I don't know, not a team player, or like you're closed off to collaborating? That's a fear people have, isn't it?
It's a very real concern, absolutely. And it really boils down to how you say no. A blunt, no, I'm fine. Yeah, that might send the wrong message.
Okay.
But using a phrase like, thanks, but I think I can manage this part, see the difference. You're not rejecting all help forever.
You're being specific.
Exactly. You're specific, you show appreciation, and you leave the door open for collaborating on other things later. It actually shows self-awareness and strategic thinking, which are always valued. It's about managing your energy wisely, not just being stubborn.
That makes a lot of sense. It really is about the nuance. Okay, let's shift gears a bit. Let's look at how Alex and Sarah handle sharing ideas, reacting to suggestions.
Ah, yes, the core of collaboration.
This is where it gets really interesting, I think, because expressing thoughts, giving feedback respectfully, that's fundamental if you want any kind of innovation or just, well, progress.
Definitely.
So the guide offers great phrases for agreeing politely, simple stuff like Sarah saying that's a good idea when Alex suggests something for the research, or just I agree with you. Seems basic, but the effect in a team, it's huge.
Oh, absolutely. If you connect this to the bigger picture, using these simple, polite agreement phrases, it helps build an atmosphere where ideas are actually valued, where everyone feels heard, and importantly, encouraged to chip in.
Right.
Polite agreement isn't just saying yes. It's actively building consensus. It's fostering that positive dynamic where people want to share thoughts because they know they'll be received well.
Right.
And it also paves the way for constructive feedback later on. When you acknowledge the good ideas, you're signaling, I'm listening, I value your input. That builds psychological safety.
I think we've all been in meetings where someone shares an idea and there's just silence. Or maybe just nodding heads. It's not the same as actually saying, that's a good point, is it? It doesn't create that positive feedback loop you talked about.
Precisely. Passive agreement or just silence. It can actually be quite damaging. It breeds uncertainty. Was the idea truly accepted or just tolerated?
Yeah, you don't know where you stand.
Exactly. Whereas explicit, polite agreement confirms understanding, it validates the contribution, and that encourages more active participation, more creative thinking later on.
Okay, now for the really challenging bit for many people. Disagreeing politely. This is where we often hesitate, right? Worried about sounding rude or maybe confrontational.
The danger zone.
Especially if the stakes are high, like Alex and Sarah trying to nail this client presentation. But the source gives us these brilliant, softened ways to do it. Like Alex saying, I'm not sure about that particular approach for the introduction, or maybe suggesting, maybe we could try a different way to structure the conclusion.
Gee, how gentle that is.
Yeah, these phrases let you voice a different opinion without just shutting the conversation down. They open the door for more discussion, rather than slamming it shut.
And this is where the strategic use of what the guide calls softening expressions and connectors is just so vital. Their power is really highlighted.
Things like,
Words like maybe, actually, I think, how about? They aren't just filler. They're doing crucial linguistic work. They make the conversation sound more natural, they moderate the pace, and critically, they invite discussion instead of just throwing down a challenge.
so saying, I'm not sure about that approach,
Instead of that's a bad idea.
"Hmm,
Completely different tone, right? It shifts the focus. It becomes less about attacking the person who had the idea and more about collaboratively looking at the idea itself.
that prevents people getting defensive."
Exactly, which is absolutely key for real problem solving.
I think we can all remember a time someone just said, that's wrong, and poof, conversation over, dead in the water.
Happens all the time.
So what's the biggest trap people fall into when they're trying to disagree, even politely?
Good question. I think the biggest mistake is often failing to separate the idea from the person. When someone hears, I don't agree with you, it can feel personal. The phrases in the guide cleverly avoid that. They focus on the thing itself. I'm not sure about that, or maybe we could try a different way.
Ugh, subtle but powerful.
Incredibly powerful. It keeps that psychological safety intact, so people feel they can throw ideas out there without getting personally shot down if the idea isn't perfect. Another common mistake, just disagreeing without offering an alternative, or at least a reason. That can just feel negative. The best polite disagreement opens a door, it doesn't just close one.
Got it. Okay, so we've covered the interaction phrases, but good teamwork also needs, well, everyone speaking the same language, literally, using the same terms.
Yes, shared vocabulary.
Our source provides a really practical toolkit of specific words it suggests mastering. Things like project, slides, deadline, research, task, introduction, conclusion, the nuts and bolts of business or project English.
Exactly. And mastering this vocabulary isn't just about knowing dictionary definitions. It means you can engage more deeply, more accurately when you're planning things or dividing up tasks. When Alex and Sarah both have the exact same understanding of deadline or conclusion, there's just much less chance of confusion or things falling through the cracks.
Makes sense.
It makes everything more efficient, ensures you're literally on the same page, and avoids those costly mistakes that come from simple misunderstandings. It's about clarity leading to efficiency.
And the source itself makes a really important point about how we say all this. It stresses the value of clear dialogue, yes, but also with polite and natural intonation.
Crucial.
It's not just what you say. A perfectly phrased, polite disagreement can still land badly if you deliver it with, an aggressive tone.
That's absolutely right. These phrases we've discussed, they're not just lines to memorize parrot fashion. They're tools. Tools to build your confidence and genuinely improve how you connect with people in teams. It's about getting so comfortable with these patterns that they become second nature. Then you can focus your energy on the actual content of your work, not struggling with how to say things.
Right.
And the guides focus on natural intonation. It reminds us that so much communication is nonverbal. Empathy, respect, they have to come through in your tone just as much as your words.
It's like learning the notes on the sheet music and then learning how to actually play it with feeling.
Okay, so to make this really practical for you listening, here's a little challenge. Next time you're in any kind of team situation, could be a work meeting, a volunteer group, even planning something with friends, just try to consciously listen for a chance to use one of these phrases.
Just one.
Yeah. Maybe it's offering, can I help with that? Or politely disagreeing with, I'm not sure about that approach. Maybe we could consider X. Just pick one and try it out.
And notice what happens. Pay attention to the response you get. How does using that intentional, well-phrased bit of communication actually change the dynamic?
Yeah.
What do you observe about how your offer lands or how your disagreement is taken on board? That's where the real learning clicks in.
So just to wrap up, our deep dive today has really been about equipping you with the specific phrases, but also the underlying confidence to offer help, handle support, and manage agreement and disagreement respectfully and effectively.
We've seen how these linguistic tools, when you use them intentionally, can genuinely transform your experiences working with others. Doesn't matter if it's a school project, a work team, or, even sorting out family plans.
So what does this all really mean for you? Well, beyond just teamwork English, these are fundamentally principles of effective human collaboration They apply across languages, across cultures. They help create environments where everyone feels safe enough to share their best thinking, where problems get tackled through discussion, not arguments, and where things actually get done smoothly because the communication is clear, deliberate, and respectful.
Moving from just coexisting to co-creating.
Exactly. It's about moving from just coexisting in a team to actually co-creating something better together.
Okay, so here's a final provocative thought for you to take away and maybe mull over. Think about how often you might hold back, maybe from offering an idea or from gently questioning a plan. Not because you don't have the thought, but because you feel you lack the right phrase.
That's powerful.
How might getting comfortable with just a few of these expressions we've talked about unlock a whole new level of contribution for you, a new level of influence, maybe even personal satisfaction in your next team effort? We really do encourage you. Try integrating just one or two into your next collaboration. You might be surprised. Surprised by the effect on the team, sure, but maybe even more surprised by the boost to your own confidence.